Good evening, everyone. Welcome back once again to Vicious Rants. And of course, I'm your host, your YouTube Messiah, and often entertainer, never duplicated superstar Tim Vicious. And we're going to go over Raw this week. It was in Kansas City, Missouri. You know, this is the second episode in well over a year, and now I'm having a hard time trying to adjust back to saying the fucking cities instead of saying it's in the goddamn Thunderdome or some shit. And man, this is fun. I dig this. But yeah, Raw was in Kansas City, Missouri. Felt really different tonight in the sense of Raw felt like it had more focus on matches as opposed to segments and build-ups to matches. And now, before we get into Raw, we're going to switch gears, talk about last week via the Smackdown Rewind and the big highlights from last week's Smackdown. Well, John Cena started out the show saying point blank the reason why he's here. He issues an open challenge to Roman Reigns, Universal title, SummerSlam, Las Vegas, be there or be square. And then at the end, fast forward all the way to the end of the show, Roman Reigns, he just looks, cuts him off. No. John, you're the same old shtick, man. You're no different than you were in 2015. Literally, you go and you look at 2015 and now you're the exact same. No, you're not worth my time. I'm not going to put that kind of time and effort into you. You're not worth it. And then, lo and behold, out comes the prince himself, Balor. Finn comes out, says, well, since you won't take John, since you ain't accepting John Cena's challenge, how about you step up to me? Roman accepts. So now we got Roman Reigns, Finn Balor, Universal title at SummerSlam. So, other than that, other big highlights from SmackDown. Everything is now set in place for Edge and Seth Rollins, which I am all fucking for. And, you know, as much as people will joke about saying, you know, WWE doesn't do long-term booking and all this, that, and the other, you know, you go back all them years ago when Seth had his foot planted on Edge's neck in the middle of the ring, you know, where everyone's bringing this up. Nobody ever thought Edge was going to get surgery and then get medically cleared again. Everyone thought he was out for good because he was forced into it. And, you know, it's one of those happy accidents where it was, holy fuck, we had this sitting in our back pocket, and goddamn, this is the perfect time to shing, let's use this. Yeah. I am fucking all for it. Now, other than that, other big highlights from SmackDown. Oof. Where to begin? Angelo Dawkins and Bianca Belair both have their own respective matches at the Rollin' Loud Festival. You know, Dawkins went against Gable. Bianca went against Carmella. They both had good matches. And, you know, people want to go and say, oh, well, they're doing a show in front of people that they're not normally accustomed to seeing. You know, this, that, and the other. Here's the thing, folks. This is on how you get new fucking audiences. While you have the die-hard fan base, yes, that composes 10% of your audience. The other 90 fucking percent you want to pay attention to and you want to lasso up are the casual fans, the ones that you draw in, the ones that you say, hey, you never saw this before? Well, come here, have a seat, check this out. Those are the ones you want to fucking get all the time. Those are the ones you want to get because those are the ones that are going to sit there, get invested, and shell out dollar after dollar after dollar And yes, you can go and say, oh, Tim, you're just breaking this down, and you're not really breaking this down like a wrestling fan. You're breaking this down as a business thing, because it is a fucking business. Fuck. Hate when people don't bother to put the business end of this into it. Okay, I'm calm, I'm cool, I'm good. Here we go. So, yeah. They had their matches. Jimmy had a match against Dominic, and yeah, that was pretty much the big highlights from Smackdown. So now let's fast forward into today. Raw, it starts out Nikki coming out, highlighting and celebrating on how she accomplished her childhood dream of becoming becoming WWE Women's Champion. And, you know, then Charlotte comes out saying on how Nikki only won that because of a fluke, because Rhea attacked her, this, that, and the other. Then Rhea comes out saying, you know, I only did that because you took a coward's way out of getting a DQ in our match, this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. And then it turned into Charlotte and Rhea squawking while Nikki was just kind of sitting there holding the mic like, okay, can I get in now? Can I get in now? Like that, until Sonya and Adam Pearce came out, and then they officially made a triple threat match for SummerSlam, which saying that, you know, that way both ladies, that way everyone gets their opportunity at the title, which, okay, but I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I would have preferred it being having Charlotte versus Rhea one-on-one, and then the winner of that going against Nikki at SummerSlam, and they could have built that match at SummerSlam or the Raw prior, or at some point building up to it. I'm just saying, I'm not trying to armchair quarterback. I absolutely fucking hate that. But I'm just saying, I personal preference, I think that would have been a lot cooler to say. Instead of just saying, we're going to do a triple threat. But after that, Charlotte goes off saying, no. I have shown I am better and I am just as good. She won that title on a fluke. I want a one-on-one with her to prove I'm better than her. Okay, fine. We'll give you and Nikki a one-on-one match tonight. So we'll get to that eventually. For right now, though, first match of the night, Sheamus against Damian Priest in a Proving Grounds match. And again, for those who aren't educated in this sense, a Proving Grounds match, it's, well, the term, I learned the term watching Ring of Honor. I'm not quite sure where it came from. It may have come from there, may not have, I don't know. But it's when a wrestler is going against the champion, and if they beat the champion, then they earn a #1 title shot. So, yeah. Sheamus against Damian Priest. This had nice, good back and forth flow, you know. Well, Jimmy, absolutely love him. He's a big, heavy body guy, dude, you know, throws out power, knows on how to use his size and his build. Damian Priest, he's a big dude. He knows on how to move. You know, he could be very fluid, or he could be or play the power game. Absolutely love both guys. You know, these guys had really nice chemistry going back and forth with each other. I dug the shit out of it. You know, and it wound up being a back and forth brawl into the break. Post break, it was pretty much the same. Biggest part that caught my attention on it, though, hands down, was at one point Sheamus's mask, his face mask came off, and you could actually see the look on his face, like, and I don't know if it was planned or if it was just, it came off on its own by accident or whatever, but oh my god, did he fucking play to it. His facial expressions and his body language. he started going and covering up his face real quick. Not in like a, no one can see my face kind of way, but more so in a prima donna, no, don't hit it. You're not allowed to hit that. Don't punch the face. No, you're not allowed to hit the nose. Kind of way. And it was fucking beautiful. I fucking loved it. Match came to an end when Priest wound up actually doing a kick right to Sheamus's face, and then hit the Reckoning on him. 1, 2, 3. So now Damian Priest is the #1 contender. 10 get you 20. We're gonna get a U.S. title match at SummerSlam. Post match, you hear Sheamus screaming and yelling, "He broke my nose. He broke my nose. I want a doctor now." Very much so playing a good chicken shit heel. You know, because again, you got your ass kicking heels, you got your chicken shit heels. A chicken shit heel, they'll talk a lot of trash, but then when it's time to go and step up, they're like, no, not tonight. No, I don't wanna. Next up, we got tag action. AJ and Omos going against the Raiders for AJ and Omos's coveted tag titles. Now, right out the bat, the Raiders, man, they flattened Styles, man. And they were looking to take Omos out the game. But he wound up, Omos, after they hit the experience on Styles, Omos pulled Eric out, threw him up against the barricade, then grabbed Ivar, did the same thing, just straight up brutalized them. Then they went to break. Post-break, you see Eric has the punching bag for a small little bit until Ivar gets a hot tag, and then AJ becomes the punching bag, which, again, it's a little different than what their normal formula is for tag matches, so that was cool. I dug that. Then Omos came in and destroyed everyone. He obliterated them. He took out Ivar. He did the double choke slam onto Eric again. After that, AJ, gun, tag me in. Alright. AJ tags in. He gets on the springboard, does a springboard 450, gets the pin 1, 2, 3. That's it. Your winners and still WWE RAW Tag Team Champions, AJ Styles and Omos. Next up, we got Drew McIntyre going against Veer with Jinder Mahal ringside. Now, before the match happened, had a nice little promo where Jinder came out with Veer as well as a mystery person we will get to in a moment. Jinder highlighting on how last week Drew just brutalized Shanky and pretty much broke a chair over him. It was covered in welts and bruises and all that. And Jinder saying, Drew, I'm trying to appeal to you. Just apologize. We can go out to get a nice good dinner after this, have a couple laughs, catch up. We can do like we did in the old days. Otherwise, I will have to turn to my attorney. The best money can buy. And he rolled off this name. And yeah, don't remember the lawyer's name. But then it was, Drew, just apologize and then we can move forward. Drew basically long-winded, no, I'm going to kick your ass kind of answer. So now we get to the match. This was actually a very decent showing for Veer. And by that I mean it was a good for seeing what he could do in a one-on-one aspect. It was a decent match. I kind of fucking dug it. It was good. It was good. It was a short-lived match. The guy showed potential, and he obviously has some semblance of talent and skill. Otherwise, he wouldn't be in WWE. Now, I know with that same breath, people are going to go and say, oh, well, what about guys like Heidenreich or Eva Marie or this one or that one? Okay, here's the thing. Pay attention to the words I said. Potential. They have potential. and they got to have some semblance of skill, you know? It's not like they just go and pick up some random Joe Schmo off the street, charge them $1,200, make them run the ropes for 3 weeks, and then say, okay, you're going on Raw next week. You know, it's not like that. Either way, back to the match. It comes to an end when Veer grabs a chair, Jinder slid to him, he's holding it, and then Drew, boom, pops him with a Claymore while he's holding the chair. So, DQ finish. However, the big what the fuck moment in this isn't the finish, it's the fact that the ring announcer, for whatever reason, announced Drew McIntyre as the winner, but then Corey Graves wound up cleaning it up, saying, you know, Veer's got a win on his Raw debut, albeit from a disqualification. So, yeah, trying to scratch my head on that one. No way around that. Afterwards, Drew then beat up Jinder's lawyer, which, yeah. So, we're building to a match between Jinder Mahal and Drew McIntyre. I'm all for it. I fucking like that idea. Hell, when Drew was world champion, I was saying, let's get a match between Drew and Jinder for the title. Former champion versus current champion. Both got history with each other. Both being part of a group. Both trying to succeed. And then they both, you know, fell into the same formula. They were there, they got fired, they got super jacked, they got rehired, then they became world champion. Next matchup now we got is women's tag action. Eva Marie and Doudrop going against Natalya and Tamina. And, well, right at the start, Doudrop, she pretty much wound up pancaking Natty. And from the looks of it, Natalya tweaked her knee and it was really bad. I mean, she was hobbling. Like, not even in like a working kind of way. So, I'm just wondering what's the over-under that Bret Hart's going to wind up blaming somebody or saying that somebody was completely unprofessional in regards to it. Because, God forbid, Bret Hart doesn't say something. Because, you know, it's not like Bret Hart doesn't always say... I try and look for the positives in a lot of things, but when it comes to Bret Hart, man, he's like the complete polar fucking opposite. He's got to find... No matter how much of a compliment he tries to give, he always winds up having to follow up with something mean and bitter to say. You know? Like saying, oh, this guy was a good draw, you know, he really helped the business when it was down. He couldn't work worth a lick. He wouldn't know on how to lace up boots if he was blindfolded. You know, he says that kind of shit and it's just fucking annoying. But, back to the match. Yeah, Natalya tweaked her knee. Tamina wound up having to pick up the slack and started carrying the rest of the weight for the whole match. Eva was in there. Now, again, this goes back to what I was saying before. 1, potential. 2, they brought Eva back for a reason. Other than the fact that it's going to piss people off and make them talk, and Twitter and online is now the new modern day water cooler talk. It created water cooler talk and buzz. I mean, for crying out loud, no lie, my son's mom was actually calling and asking me, who's this Eva Marie chick that Chris is telling me is supposed to be on Raw? So yeah, there you go. Yeah. Either way, Eva Marie doesn't really do much in the ring, but she gets fucking heat, and that's so fucking good. And you know, if you're good enough at your craft to where you don't need to do high-end technical stuff or do 2,000 flips or shit like that, and you could just get away with just walking around or doing the bare basics, Ominous Dominus, you figured out the formula that works for you. Either way, Eva was in there, looked like she was picking up momentum and about to win, and then distracted. on the Titantron. It was all up there, big and bold. Picture it now. Lily. Yes, that's right, Lily. Alexa Bliss is Lily. Talking about on how she's going to change the industry. Lead a revolution. It's going to be a Lilylution. And then Eva's just looking like, what the fuck? Turns around, wham! Gets popped in the face with a super kick. Tamina, 1, 2, 3. That is it. So, yeah. After that, you see Natalya getting carried to the back by somebody, and then you just see Tamina double time out of the ring to go and like, nope, come on, I got you, come on, let's get there. So, yeah. Next up, we got Karrion Kross going against Keith Lee, and I'm going to say this right now. If your first thought when you hear about this match is compared to last week, well, Kross had a shitty debut, and now you're going to argue, well, this is going to be fucking horrible because no matter who wins, this guy needs to win. But this guy needs to win. Guys, you don't always need to win. I mean, for fuck's sake, the Brooklyn Brawler, of all people, got over and it became popular more so for losing more than anything. The hell's that tell you? But yeah, instead of thinking that, think of this for a minute. Karrion Kross and Keith Lee were a main event for an NXT TakeOver. We're getting an NXT TakeOver main event match on fucking cable TV. Instead of having it be on fucking Peacock or the network or wherever the fuck you're watching it. Just some people are just so caught up in their own grandiose bullshit. I swear, thank God the internet really isn't where you can reach through. Otherwise, there'd be so many people I'd punch in the head like a cheap hooker. Back to the match, though. This was a damn good match. Kross was leading throughout the match. You know, I was all fucking for it. I dug the shit out of it. It very much so played to both guys. Lee, big powerhouse. While you can't throw me right now, I'm dropping all my weight down. You can't get me now while I'm paying attention, boy. Kross then starts working on him and then, boom, throws him. Then starts clubbing him. Then takes him down. It was a damn good match. I fucking loved it. Match came to an end when he did that doomsday elbow of his and then put in the cross jacket. And at one point actually wrapped his leg around Lee's free arm, which, God bless Jimmy Smith, man, he fucking sold that shit to hyping up on how important that was. You know, you don't notice the small little, it's the little things that build to the bigger picture. And yeah, Kross got the win via that. A lot of people are all saying, well, where's Scarlett? Where's Scarlett? Where's Scarlett? Right after that match, Scarlett put out a thing on her Twitter saying patience is a virtue. Personally, what I'm projecting, we're going to see Scarlett either leading up towards a big match Kross may have potentially at SummerSlam, fingers crossed, or after Kross drops the title, following that on Raw. So next matchup, we got Mace and TBar going against Mansoor and Mustafa Ali, and this came to be because Mansoor wound up convincing Pierce to let them two team up and work as a tag team last week, and then they fast forward to this. And I am still all for the whole idea about Ali being like how he is towards Mansoor because of that one single line he said in an online interview. Why are you doing this? Why are you acting like this to him? And with the straightest of faces, frustration and anger in his eyes, Ali just looks dead center and says, "'Cause I don't want him to be me. I don't want him to turn out like me." That right there sold me. That right there I fucking love because a lot of people can relate to that. I don't want them to turn out like me. I want them to do better. So you know what? I'm going to show them all the shit, all the ugliness, all the bad shit that I had to go through, so that way not only can they go around it, they can go around it and do anything they fucking want. That is what I was all fucking for. And that's what I see out of it. This was a damn good match. Ali was pretty much getting killed throughout the entire match. Mansoor on the apron like, oh man, come on. It's alright, we got this. And then he eventually jumps in to breaks up pin, you know, and then it turns into a little tussle outside. And then as Mace, or not Mace, TBar is creeping closer to Mansoor as he's down on his ass right in front of the ring apron, you see Ali do a suicide dive and then boom, DDT him. And chastising Mansoor about having to pay attention about everything that's going on, and Mansoor just looking like, that was so cool. And again, that plays to what I said before. He wants him to do better. He wants him to be better than him. And yeah, that's the fucking cool. That's the fucking cool factor on it, man. It's Ali's trying to school him, much like an older brother or a very begrudged dad kind of manner, but he's trying to do that. And then the match came to an end when Mansoor did a fucking roll-up on Mace. We had to get a fucking roll-up finish. God damn it. I swear, one of these days, I'm going to put a counter up here somewhere, and it's going to say how many days until we've had our last roll-up finish. Yeah. So next up we got impromptu match, Bobby Lashley going against Cedric and Shelton. And this came to be because Bobby Lashley and MVP came out originally to acknowledge the challenge made by one Bill Goldberg. And Lashley said, I'm not even going to dignify it with a response. To which then Shelton Benjamin came out saying, you know, I understand why you were so quick to toss me out of the Hurt Business now. You realized I'm better than you. That's what it is. And Cedric running his mouth, you know, much like a teenager would, trying to mouth off at their parents, saying that, you know, they know everything because, well, who hasn't acted like that or thought like that when they were a teenager and then get popped in their place by their parents? But just me? Damn. Okay. Well, then Shelton comes out, starts squawking at him, and then Lashley just basically says, you know what, I'll take y'all both on. And then Lashley dominates and kills them both. And it comes to an end when Lashley does a jackhammer to Benjamin and then a dominator to Alexander, stacks them, pins them, end of story. Next matchup after that, we got Riddle going against Johnny, Nitro, Morrison, Mundo, Impact, Esquire, insert name here, the 23rd. And this had a nice pace and flow with it, man. Riddle, he was leading right into the break. Post-break, it was a little bit of a back and forth-ish. Honestly, the part that got me with this more than anything was on how Miz and Morrison just whoosh, with the squirt sticks, hosing Saxton, and Corey Graves just selling it. Fucking selling it like it's fucking, like he saw the fucking second coming of Jesus, and it's like, yes, do it again. And just, yeah. Match came to an end though when AJ and Omos, who we saw having conversations with Morrison and Miz backstage, came out. Omos grabbed Riddle's scooter, snapped it over his knee, and then Morrison wound up slamming Riddle down and then did Starship Pain. One thing I did notice, and I thought it was a nice little thing, and again it goes under blessing and a curse with observation and notice and detail. When Morrison did the split leg up at the top, his one leg that was facing the camera, it didn't hook, it wasn't out straight right away, so he bounced twice, Second time it went straight, and then he did the flip for Starship Pain. I just thought it was cool on how he was able to recalculate and fix himself right on the fly like that. But yeah, so now we come to R-Truth versus Reginald for the 24/7 title, which was honestly a let-me-up match. Reggie won. I mean, I'm trying to get behind Reggie, I really am, but to quote Broken Matt Hardy, he's pretty much just a spot monkey. Just constantly rolling and doing flips, and I'm just like, okay, dude, I get that you can do that, that's cool, but I want to see what else you can do. Can you do more than just that? I mean, seriously. Yeah. Next up, I will say this though, from now on, anytime R-Truth has a match, he needs to have a mic in his ear. Because R-Truth doing a match with a mic is fucking gold. Now we come to main event of the night. Charlotte Flair, Nikki A.S.H. for the... Oh, no, that's not a title match. I brain farted and thought it was. That was my bad. No mistakes on any other part except mine. Charlotte pretty much just led the entire match, which, okay, that was kind of cool to see because the way the story was, it's that Nikki saying, you know, I was scared, I wasn't sure of myself, but now I'm not afraid to fail and mess up. And if I do, I'm going to pick myself up and I'm going to go back and do it again. And she's trying to pass off that kind of positive image for it, which, okay, cool. But Charlotte very much so being the dastardly villain, thwarting the hero in her attempt to do good. Charlotte got the win when Nikki wound up picking up some momentum, went to the top, did a crossbody, connected, and then Charlotte rolled it over and wound up hooking it on good and tight. 1, 2, 3. Your winner, Charlotte Flair. Then we cut to a little promo at the end, and Nikki issuing a challenge for a rematch next week. Charlotte accepts and then beats Nikki up. So, yeah, that was it for So, that is it, folks. That is it for this week's show. So, please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch some of the other episodes when you can. Look for me on the Twitter at Tim Vicious. Also on that Facebook gimmick, if you're going to look for me on my Facebook gimmick at Tim Ash, make sure you let me know in here on the comments or on my Twitter at Tim Vicious. I think that guy Creep John going. Ugh. Big thank you to my executive producer, Ali Ray-Ben, who did provide the music for this week's show. Make sure y'all check it out. It's on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube. All that good shit details are down below. Also, thank you to contributor to the show, LFC Lingerie Fighting Championship. They're a little bit of wrestling, a little MMA, and a whole lot of attractive women wearing a little bit of nothing. Also, folks, don't forget to follow these cool-ass cats right on the Twitter. Kenny Killer, DSB_IV, Diabolica RA, Sergeant Curry Pants, and Dubs in your face. Folks, like I always tell y'all, you love me great, you hate me. Fuck yous.